is just tell the truth and trust in the American people that over time they're going to know what the truth is.
Yes, it is time for the truth. Right here, right now. This is the Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives. With your host, John Matthews.
The latter-day prophet. Baying against the hypocrisies of our time.
And Joe Hakos.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
The Conservative Syndicate is comprised of some of the most informed pundits and activists available today. Together, we seek to tear down the imaginary wall of separation between church and state through education, information, and engagement on the religion of politics and the politics of religion. And now, your host on the globally syndicated Conservative Syndicate, John Matthews and Joe Hakos.
Hey, and how are we doing out there? All across this great land of ours and around the world, it is that time for the Conservative Syndicate, once again coming to you live, coast to coast and around the world, where it's prime time, sometime, all the time, somewhere. We're glad to have you with us this great afternoon, another great afternoon in the greatest country in the world. And we are going to do a couple of things today. We're gonna discuss more of what we started yesterday. If you listened to our show yesterday, I pointed out that one of the things we do in this show often is we'll take a topic and just go on and on and on with it, and we do that for a reason. We do that so that people can really come to an understanding of what the issues are or what the points being made are, because we live in such a sitcom mentality today where everything is just crisis, situation, plot, crisis, and solution in 30 minutes or less. And our news is basically constructed into 5-minute commentaries on 30-second sound bites. And so you miss a lot of the context, which I think contributes greatly to what we refer to here as the Gruber theorem, the stupidity of the American voter. We're more worried about electing the prom king or queen than somebody that's actually qualified to do the job. And we major in the minors. I mean, all the things that have made America, that threaten America today, and now our exceptionalism and what we are in the eyes of the world and in the eyes of our children. So we're glad to have you with us today. I want to bring Joe on right here, my Joe Hakos, my co-host, partner in crime here, because I just ran across him today. I've heard some reverberations out there. I've heard some murmurs and stuff like that, and I've pretty much discounted stuff, especially when it comes from, conspiracy sites like InfoWars and stuff like that, Every once in a while, Alex Jones gets it right, but more often than not, I think he's just out there fishing, kind of like the conservative version of Howard Stern, shock jock kind of stuff, I've got a topic here that I just kind of want to open the show with today, but how are you doing tonight, Joe?
I'm good. Thanks, John. I'm good. You said we... I think one of the other reasons we do what we do is because we're charter members of the Dead Horse Society, John. We just beat that sucker to death.
Yeah, we're, let me float to you here what I've been hearing here. It was something that my ears kind of perked up with. I mentioned yesterday that last week I was at a meeting out here at one of the Orange County GOP sub-headquarters. Yeah. And they were doing, they were selecting, there was delegate selection in 3 of the school districts over there. And what was supposed to happen is people that wanted to run for the school board, their trustees and their school board elections are coming up, and people come in and represent these districts, and pretty much make their pitch, and then the delegates determine whether or not they will support or support the nomination of this particular person. Now, there were 10 candidates that were supposed to show up there. And this is so indicative. I mean, I could go off on this just alone, but I'm going to stay away from it right now. Out of the 10 candidates, only one showed up. And they had the table all out in the front, and they had their little place thing with the name of each candidate, and each one was supposed to come in and say something. And there was a questionnaire that they floated out there to each one of these candidates, and then from the questionnaire, their answers were disseminated to the respective delegates, and then the delegates would choose or ask questions of the nominee, that kind of thing. And there was only one lady that showed up. Her name was Frances Nguyen. She was, I believe, Korean. and she's running for the Westminster School District. And I'll tell you one thing about Westminster. Westminster is a hotbed out here in the gender preferencing debate. And we had a couple of people. One was our church, was one of the school board members there, who was actually recalled because she and two other members of the board blocked the initial gender preference bill that the state of California was trying to push on the schools. And this was about 10 years ago. And they blocked it, and they said, we will not accept this. And there was an actual recall election against these three representatives of the school board put together by the school unions, and it was a really nasty thing. So Westminster is like the hotbed of this whole gender preferencing thing. But anyway, getting back to my point here, one of the ladies there who we've had on this show, her name is Gloria Prine, and she is the main person out here in California dealing with the anti-Common Core movement. She's very, very informed. She travels around the state and gives lectures and seminars on the evils of Common Core. And she was there as one of the delegates, and so I got to talking to her, and we're just talking about the general thing here: Trump versus Clinton. This is the worst of two evils, that kind of stuff. And she said something to me that was just off the cuff, and I didn't even think about it till I got home. She said, "Well, Hillary is not well." And I said, well, yeah, she's back crap crazy. I get that. And she goes, no, her health, she's not well.
Yeah.
And I went, really? I hadn't really noticed that or paid much attention to it outside the fact that I think she's a psychopath. And she said, no, there's a lot of things wrong with her physically. And nobody's talking about this. And so I just happened, and lo and behold, I get on my internet, my social media today, and somebody shoots me this video. Somebody over in England put this video together about the health problems of Hillary Clinton and some of the things that are going on behind the scenes that nobody's talking about. There's photos of her having to be helped upstairs. She can't walk upstairs by herself. There was a video clip of her trying to get off a chair. I guess she was sitting at a rally with Joe Biden, and he had to help her down. Stuff like that. Apparently, there's been a couple of times of videos on where she has kind of just blanked out. Just kind of gone, just froze in the middle of saying something, as if she's having some kind of, mental lapse or seizure or something. A video of her actually standing at a podium, and somebody who they thought was a Secret Service agent rushing up to her, and it turned out to be her doctor. And because he was a big black guy, I guess everybody thought he was Secret Service and there was something wrong. But it turns out that there was apparently something was going on with her. And so the rumors are that she has some kind of she experiences some kind of convulsions or something, maybe from that bump on the head that she got a while back or whatever. But the point being is that I had never really thought about this before, and I think maybe there's something we ought to look at. What do you think, Joe?
Well, I've heard about this before. She's not going to release her medical records. She's not going to, because she's the most transparent individual ever. That's the reason why she lies about everything. So you're not going to find anything about. It has come into question. I mean, she stands up there. She needs a halftime break in her debates with crotchety old Bernie Sanders because he's just too much for her. The lady's just whatever.
Well, my thought is everybody's wanting Trump.
Off for crying out loud.
But the Clintons released their tax returns the other day, and everybody's rambling that Donald Trump needs to release his tax returns as if that's some kind of qualifier for office. But
they've all done it. That's why they do that. But the thing is they released their tax returns, but it's like, they've donated a lot of money to themselves. Well, yes, they have. But how does she make all that money?
Well, what I'm saying, the reason I brought that up is that maybe what Trump needs to start saying is, hey, Hillary, we need you to release your health records.
No, Trump needs to stay on the message that he has been, like he did the other day. That's
yeah. But we need some
crap is not going to go anywhere. These people, this will absolutely go nowhere.
Yeah, we need some operatives out there. We need some operatives out there that I think can bring this up to some degree, if nothing else. I guess what I'm pointing at is maybe we need a little fight fire with fire. when they come out, with the latest Donald Trump gaffe, and it shows his inability to discern what's going on, and this, that, and the other, his mental instability. Every time that comes up, it should be, well, you know what? Hillary needs to release her medical records because we're not so sure that she's got all of her ducks in a row. That kind of thing. I just think it would be a good way of neutralizing anyway, because that's how you got to beat liberals. You got to put it back on them in such a way that they're saying, oh, wait a minute, that finger's pointing back at me. I need to, maybe just shut up a little bit. Let's calm it down so that people, don't start asking questions, that kind of stuff. Just a thought off the top of my head. Anyway, you had something with Hillary Clinton that you wanted to share with us here, but we got to go to a break here first. Let's go to our break when we come back, and that way we'll give you a clean slate. So stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate. I'm John Matthews along with Joe Hakos. We'll be back in just a moment.
A healthy attitude toward human politics will be relentlessly cynical. Consider us health food for the heart, mind, and soul. TheConservativeSyndicate.net. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now.
Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification require cancellation fee, auto pay, and paperless billing, and other restrictions apply. If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Only Dish brings you the best in entertainment for less than $20 a month. Cut the cable and don't get directed. Switch to Dish because at just $19.99, Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. It's so simple. The same channels cost less with Dish. So since you can't see the difference, don't pay the difference. Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Get premium movie channels free for 3 months, starting at just $19.99. Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. Call now to save with Dish. Dial 1-800-600-1645. That's 1-800-600-1645. The same channels for less than $20 a month. Dish. Call 1-800-600-1645 for details.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Read something recently worth thinking about. It's the soldier, not the campus organizer, who's given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier who serves under the flag, who defends the protesters' right to burn the flag. Isn't it time now to demonstrate that we support our troops? Were it not for the brave, there'd be no land of the free.
Fred Thompson's message was brought to you by CitizensUnited.org.
Conservative Syndicate, and you are listening to the Conservative Syndicate. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos. And Joe, you have something here with Clinton you wanted to share with us, and let's get to that. And before we move on to our other stuff, the stuff that we also have scheduled today, go for it.
Yeah. Okay. So Hillary's. We got to wait for Trump's mistake, right? Whatever. Like he's never said anything. Some of the things Trump said he's going to do, he wants to. I think we're going to talk about this later in the show. Where Trump and his national security initiatives, one of them being extreme vetting of immigrants coming into the country. Let's see, what else does he want to do? Oh, he wants to have a more constitutional kindness in our Supreme Court justices that he wants to appoint, that kind of thing. So he wants to do these kind of things. What's the one thing Hillary wants to do? Hillary thinks your rights should be regulated, right? Hillary Clinton on the Second Amendment. I want to just play this right here so we can kind of get to this.
So I'm going to speak out. I'm going to do everything I can to rally people against this pernicious, corrupting influence of the NRA, and we're going to do whatever we can. I was proud when my husband took them out, and we were able to ban assault weapons, but he had to put a sunset on. So 10 years later, of course, Bush wouldn't agree to reinstate them. We've got to go after this. And here again, the Supreme Court is wrong on the Second Amendment, and I am going to make that case every chance I get. So I will need your help on that.
So the Supreme Court is wrong on the Second Amendment, which the Supreme Court said that individuals have the right to have weapons and for their protection, not to go out hunting with, not to go out trap shooting with, not to go out and target practice with, for your protection. That's what the Supreme Court said. But Hillary Clinton says the Supreme Court's wrong.
Yeah, and we have reiterated and I think explained very well on this show that while the reason she says, or the justification. Now, this is the way liberals think. It's that we talk about the fact. Okay, Donald Trump says Hillary Clinton wants to abolish the Second Amendment. Okay, well that's a flat statement, and it's easy to deny. Because that's what the left does. That's not what I wanted to do. It's just like Obama. You want to keep your doctor, you can keep it. You want to keep your plan, you can keep it. That kind of thing. Not informing you that the way that they're setting up whatever it is they have planned basically renders everything that you're saying or everything that you're defending and everything you're placing your rights on useless. And so we say, the debate with Obamacare. It's the best example I can think of. When we say, okay, we have the state mandate. Well, it's not really a mandate. Okay, it's not really a tax.
Yeah, and just today, Aetna announced that they're cutting out of the exchange, the Obamacare exchanges, because they've lost too many millions of dollars.
Yeah, and coincidentally, we now have Hillary Clinton out there talking about one of the things she wants to do is what? A single payer system.
Oh my goodness, no way!
Yeah, but the whole idea is they play this game of saying, well, that's not what we want to do. We don't want to abolish the Second Amendment. We just want to render it useless.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. We don't want to abolish it, but we will make it so it's basically you can't have a weapon and you can't do anything about it. And okay, let's talk about that First Amendment. Yes, we're not going to let you can have free speech as long as it's the kind of speech that we like, because if we deem it to be hate speech, we're not going to let you do that, and we're certainly not going to let you do it over the internet on a radio show.
Well, let's look at the First Amendment from a different angle here. And we're saying, okay, we don't want to abolish the First Amendment. We think Americans have all the the right to talk and say what they believe and everything else. But we need to eliminate. We need a constitutional amendment that eliminates organizations like Citizens United, because it's okay if you have a voice. We just don't want that voice becoming part of a collective that actually has influence.
Yes, like the United Auto Workers Union, or the AFL-CIO, those are voices we like. Well, those big bad corporations that take things and build it over in China, like Donald Trump makes his ties in offshore. Well, we don't like that, but we like Apple Computer because the guy that runs it's gay, and we like him.
Yeah. Yeah, and we like Facebook because the guy that runs it is an idiot, and we like Google because the guy that runs it is also gay and an idiot.
It's amazing. It's amazing how all these billionaires have lined up behind Hillary Clinton. And why would they do that, John? Can you imagine why?
Well, because that's what establishment types do. We're talking about this whole election cycle being about preserving the elitism of the establishments on both sides of the aisle.
Well, not only that, but don't you think that Hillary's going to have to give them something? They know that they're going to be able to have the status quo that Hillary's going to be able to maintain for them.
Well, yeah, and in fact, a perfect example of what you're just saying here, Joe, I can share with you the perfect example. I heard it today. I was in the car driving around today, had to go down and mess with my bank. My bank screwed my checking account up. A mistake I made, but it's like pulling teeth getting it fixed. And anyway, so I'm on the road here, and Rush Limbaugh was talking about Aetna. You know, they're pulling out of 11 of their 15 exchanges. They lost $200 million last year, and Limbaugh, he floats the question out there: why would private sector corporations like Aetna and Blue Cross Blue Shield and these major players in private sector, Kaiser Permanente, why would they jump on board with Obamacare? Well, he said, well, first of all, this is what you got to look at. The president comes out and establishes a mandate, basically against the Constitution, but says that everybody must purchase the products that are being offered through private sector. Okay, so he said, what private sector person, what corporation wouldn't jump on that bandwagon? Basically what's happening is you have a presidential decree that everybody has to buy your product. He says, why wouldn't people jump on that? He said, but here's the problem. Here's the problem is that nobody expected it to turn into the death spiral except Obama and his cronies. The people that designed it just for the purpose that we're witnessing right now, and that is implosion of the system, which now floats the idea, well, you know, the government screwed up Obamacare, so why don't we create our own insurance? Okay, let's take it one step further. We totally botched up Obamacare. We got the government involved in private sector enterprise and completely botched up. So why? So that we, the government, can take it over and make it even worse. Okay, that kind of thing. So what we're talking about here is the idea that these corporations jump in thinking, oh, I'm going to get something. You know what I thought of actually this morning, Joe? I was thinking, what Obamacare is the equivalent to the subprime lending meltdown. And how did that work? How did that happen? The government went to all these financial institutions, these banks, these lenders, private investors, and said, we guarantee everything that's being sold out there, we guarantee that you won't lose money.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what that's what she's touting now. These public-private partnerships that she keeps talking about, this infrastructure bank. That's exactly what's going to happen. The government, blah blah blah. They put it up, and their stuff fails. Who pays for it? Me and you.
Yeah, well, you know,
the taxpayer do it. There's no failure there.
Aetna loses $200 million in the first quarter of this year. $200 million. And so now they're saying, okay, we're going to close up these exchanges because we're not making money. Blue Cross Blue Shield, and I believe it is Aetna, or it might be United Healthcare, are talking about merging to save themselves. So what are we looking at here? We're looking at major corporations looking at their bottom line going, wow, this doesn't look good. We're going to continue to lose money if we keep doing this.
Won't exist.
Who better to go to than the government and say, hey, give us money, bail us out. And what is the government going to say? Oh, we'll do that. And just like we do with the states and everybody else, we'll give you money, but now we're going to call the shots.
Well, look what they did to GM, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Come on. I mean, GM, do you think GM paid us back the money that they took from the American taxpayer? No, they did not. Obama just went and said, hey, well, okay, it's been long enough. I just declare you free and clear now. You guys go away. We're not going to ask you to give us any more money, GM.
Yeah, and so what happens with GM? GM now, guess what? We're making money now. We don't have to pay anything back, so we're making money. So now we got Clinton out there at a rally yesterday. I don't know why people don't like Obama. He saved the country from the greatest recession since the Great Depression, and he's created jobs, and he's given 20 million people health care. And I had no idea why people don't like Obama.
I remember Osama bin Laden's dead and GM is alive. I think I remember from the last go around. Meanwhile, GM builds auto plants in China.
Yeah, well, but here's I think more to the point here. What you're pointing out here, GM is showing profit, and the way it's being sold is more profit than they've ever had before. Well, yeah, if you wipe $500,000 or $500 million off your liabilities, you're going to make a lot of money.
Oh, but they're a favorite of the Democrats, John. So they're cronies. So the crony capitalism bug goes right chugging down the road. Meanwhile, everybody else that's not one of their friends is going to get hammered to death, i.e., hello, Mr. Coal Company.
Yeah, there you go. And I'm still trying to figure out, and even the coal company thing, this even confirms in my mind, one of the things we'll be talking about here later on, the polls, the skewing of the polls. How can Hillary Clinton be winning in Virginia by 15 points when she was just in Virginia telling them she was going to put everybody out of work? I mean, are Virginians that dumb? Well, I don't think so.
Well, they could be that dumb, but I think most of the coal's in West Virginia.
Okay. Well, maybe I got my states wrong there. But West Virginia is just a hop over to Virginia. I mean, but you get the drift. I mean, that's your neighbors, guys. What is she going to do to you?
Well, you got to understand, in Virginia, that northeast part of Virginia now is the D.C. Bubble. And it's the highest per capita income bubble in America today.
Okay, but I think it's also one of the larger naval installations, is it not? Is that where the base is at in Virginia?
Which base?
I think there's a major Navy base in Virginia.
Well, you got Norfolk in Virginia.
Yeah. Okay. Now let's just look at that for a moment here. We've got a woman who wants to continue the Obama regime, which is what? De-escalating the military.
Oh yeah, I mean, I just read a thing that neither one of these candidates are loved by the military. Although Trump's loved by the military more than Hillary is.
Well, it's simply because Trump is out there saying we want to kill our enemies, and Hillary's saying we want to bring them into the country.
Well, and the other thing is they already watched Hillary just abandon people out in the field.
Yeah, so I just say it feeds into this narrative out there with the media that I was watching Fox News today, Shepard Smith.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because I wasn't watching, there wasn't anything else worth watching at the time.
Sorry, so you didn't paint and watch it dry then, right?
Well, I was waiting for something else to come on, and I had 10 minutes to kill, so I said, well, let's see what's over there. And he was talking about, they were talking about the polls, and he was trying to point out, I think to his credit, Shepard Smith was trying to point out that the polls are literally useless in determining what's really happening right now, because he says, this is all going to come down to the Electoral College anyway. So they start talking about the Electoral College, and if Trump can't win Pennsylvania and he can't win Florida and he can't win Virginia, well, then it's pretty much over. And
no lie, no kidding, Sherlock.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there like, okay, well, let's not talk about whether New York is in play. Let's not talk about some of these states the scenarios out there. Oh, we're going to lose Arizona this time. We're going to lose Georgia this time. These are Republican strongholds, and they're going to turn blue.
Yeah, Trump is losing by like a half a percentage point.
Okay, but my whole point is, and I'll say this real quick here before we go to the break here, and we'll talk about this in more detail a little bit later. My point is that the reason I believe the polls are skewed, I don't think it's intentional in the sense that somebody says, hey, let's make the polls look like something they're really not. I think it's that the media is so used to having everybody else do their legwork for them that what they're doing is they're taking the standard templates of elections past. They're using the voters from election past. I'm going to outline this when we get back from the break here. My point being is that if they started polling some of the people out there that are voting for the first time or haven't voted for a while and are coming back to the polls, I think they just might come up with some different numbers.
Yeah, and they don't want that.
Yeah, and they don't want that because it doesn't fit the narrative. I'm going to kind of lay that out for you here when we get back from the break here. We got to go to break. We'll be right back. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate. Don't go away.
Hey, I'll make you a deal. Give me 60 seconds, and I'll give you directions to the Fountain of Youth. Okay, I'm joking. Well, kind of joking. No fountains, but youth, I got Nature's Youth and their premier anti-aging product, Nature's Youth RSF. With your sensible diet and exercise plan, Nature's Youth RSF can help you look and feel better. RSF is an all-natural amino acid supplement that supports your body to naturally increase HGH levels without any synthetic hormones. And elevated HGH levels can contribute to increased energy, improved libido, reduced body fat, and improved exercise capacity. Let's be honest, who doesn't want to look and feel younger? Visit the newly designed website at nature'syouth.com or call 800-333-6923. That's 800-333-6923, and like them on Facebook, and you'll be included in contests and exclusive offers. What a deal. Oh, speaking of deals, my time's about up. 800-333-6923 or nature'syouth.com. Who needs a fountain anyway? Call today.
When I had a heart attack at 42, I was not sure what the future held. But a year later, the doctors could find nothing wrong with me and took me off all my medication. What did I do? I took a herbal mixture of garlic, cayenne, and a few other herbs mixed in liquid form. I now call this Extendovite. I would have never believed that a few simple herbs could actually change my life like they did. Now it's your turn to see what the powers of garlic and cayenne can do for you. For only $69.95 plus shipping and handling for a 2-month supply of either capsules or liquid, you too can begin on your path to better health. For more information, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
I've owned my company for 14 years now, and I can tell you that payroll is a 4-letter word. I hate doing it. It eats up hours I don't have, and it costs me money I could be saving. But my accountant's too expensive, and I'm not sure who to call, but I know I need help.
We're Paychex, and we take all the hassles out of small business payroll. We save you time and money. It's easy. Call, fax, or give us your payroll information securely online, and we take care of the rest. We calculate the correct taxes, manage payments and direct deposits. We even send out your checks. Payroll doesn't need to be a 4-letter word anymore. We're so sure that we can save you time and money that we'll give you a month's payroll free. Just for calling 877-663-3830. Get 1 month's payroll for free. Call Paychex right now. 877-663-3830. That's 877-663-3830.
Hey, I don't back anybody unless I believe in them. And I do believe in the value of investing in gold and silver. And the company I trust to buy my gold and silver from is Swiss America. I've been working with them for nearly a decade. I trust them, and you can too. Swiss America will help you sort through and find the best options available when you're considering investing in gold and silver coins. Listen, for over 30 years, Swiss America has been offering Americans what they want in their investments: safety, liquidity, quality, reliability, and a potential profit. Gold and silver have a place in every investor's portfolio. So why not let Swiss America help you diversify your investment portfolio now? Call now for free information. 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907.
Hey, Bugsy, you hear the news about Vinny?
Yeah, it's a real shame. He owed money to the IRS, and they finally cut up with him.
Just like Al Capone.
If the IRS can get the Capone, imagine what they can do to little old Vinny, huh?
Poor cat, he was on top of the world. Then bada boom, bada bing.
What Vinny needs now is an offer he can't refuse.
Hey, you got a tax problem? Does the IRS claim you owe them a bunch of dough? They can get you too. So call the tax relief line now and learn if you qualify to negotiate your $10,000 plus IRS tax debt for up to a 75% savings. Don't be like Al or Vinny and get busted. Make this free call now. Learn how you may be able to pay the IRS less.
Call now. 866-657-8474. 866-657-8474. 866-657-8474. 866-657-8474.
Hey, we're back. You're listening to the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos. One other quick note here. Just one other quick note here about Clinton. I was just sitting here skimming over an article here. Hillary Clinton has picked her transition team. Okay? And now we're talking about the woman who Bill Clinton stood up in front of millions of people at the DNC convention and told us that she was the ultimate change agent.
Yes.
Okay? She is the I don't know anybody that is a better change agent than my wife, Hillary Clinton. And so now we're looking at her transition team. And I'll just read you a couple of quick paragraphs from this. We're not going to spend a lot of time on it. I just think it's worth throwing out there for general information. Hillary Clinton's White House transition team, a mix of former advisors of President Barack Obama, close confidants, longtime colleagues, and former elected officials, reflects a sense of careful organization the Democratic candidate has aimed to project in her presidential campaign. All right? Just think of that. Close confidants, longtime colleagues. I wonder if Sidney Blumenthal is going to be on that on that transition team. Maybe David Axelrod, Jim Messina, some of those people. I wonder if she'll keep Josh Earnest as her press secretary. I'm sure, though, she'll probably put a woman out there. I think Elizabeth Warren, would be great. I'd love to see Elizabeth Warren in front of the media every single day. That would be fun. It wouldn't be effective, but it would be fun. Okay, but longtime colleagues and former elected officials. Okay, so we're looking at this is the establishment here, guys. This is the establishment. It is. This is the ultimate change maker. Is the ultimate elitist. And if you think for 1 minute that Hillary's going to do anything more than fill her cabinet with 50% of women, which she has promised to do, okay? I wouldn't be surprised to see Cheryl Mills and Abedin Huma as her, still up there in the ladder. Debbie Wasserman Schultz will be some high position out there. You just cannot get much worse than this. All right.
There's not going to be any change here, John. She is going to do the third term of Obama. Look, it is basically, if she's out there saying things are bad and we're going to do something different, well, why hasn't it been done for the last 8 years?
Yeah.
And that's the problem here, is she's not going to do anything different. Nothing different.
And that's the whole thing. That's what we have talked about on the show, and I think a lot of people are saying the same thing. It's nice to see at least somewhat of an appearance that Trump is now getting on message, and he's not messing around. He's not majoring in the minor stuff. We're going to talk about the second hour. We'll have Audrey Russo from Real Talk Radio with us the second hour. We're going to talk in depth with Trump's terrorist plan speech that he gave yesterday, which I thought was spot on.
I thought it was a very good. It was a very good speech, address, whatever you want to call it. But you know what? It's kind of like that. It was kind of like the Nixon Kennedy thing. And once you're watching, you go, "Wow, he's really controlled. He is thoughtful. He's very serious about this." But when you listen to it, it was like, "Hey, where did Donald Trump go?" You're kind of like, "This ain't the lively guy that we've been used to hearing."
Well, and in the same sense, I guess, we talked about it yesterday. So the term that's being used in the media right now is the optics. We're talking about this debate coming up in September. I guess it's the first debate, and they're talking about the optics of the debate. How it's going to appear, and the general consensus is that the media is Hillary Clinton standing next to Donald Trump is not going to look real optically advantageous on her behalf, and it's gonna. I don't know how this is going to come down. I don't know how Trump is going to come at her. I hope he just doesn't get into the idea of painting her as some kind of bimbo woman or something, and saying it in such a way. But the point being,
well, I don't think he's going to be condescending to her. I don't think he's going to do that. He does treat people with respect if respect is given to him. He will do that. If you've noticed anything, that's what he'll do. Now, the people that don't respect him, it's quite obvious what he does. He goes into that New York mode.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and you would think that she would be prepared for that.
Oh yes, she in fact, I think she's hoping that it goes in that New York mode. In fact, I think she's going to try to provoke him into that.
Yeah,
and I would think whoever the moderator, big air fingers quotes, a moderator is whoever that is going to try to provoke the same thing, because let's face it, they tried that crap all through in the primaries,
right,
just to get ratings.
Yeah, that's true. So there's a lot of stuff going on out there in that regard. But I'm I don't know what the word is. I'm searching for the right word here to try to put this thing in context. And it's just I guess just with the Hillary Clinton thing, it's just all this stuff. I actually, what I did, let me kind of address it this way, because I kind of went off message there for a minute.
That's okay.
I was looking at, just thinking the other day with the latest Donald Trump thing. They're making a big deal. What was the latest one? The latest thing. It was just a few days ago. I can't even remember what it is. There's been so many of them out there.
That's how unimportant it actually is.
Yeah. And anyway, so the media is making they're majoring into minors on it, making a big deal about it, and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make. I went and looked at a timeline. I kind of said, hey, let's try to set up some timeline here, and take the Donald Trump gaffes, as the media calls them.
Okay. Yeah.
And let's put it on a timeline, and then let's look at what was going on at the same time these gaffes were being played up in the media as being the determining factor of the qualifications of who's running for office.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So without going into great detail on it, what I noticed was whenever there was something to do with terrorism. Okay, Donald Trump would come out. We need to ban all Muslims. That was the report, the headline. Okay, I went out and I found a site. It says, and it just basically lists some of the headline events that were taking place on any given day. So I went and I said, okay, let's go out on January. I think I started from last year, January 2015. And then I went to February 2015, and just and anyway, the point being is that every time the media was out there talking about Trump's gaffes, things that he'd been saying that everybody was making a big deal about, the ban on Muslims. That was the one that pops off the top of my head here. Trump wants to ban all Muslims. That was the headline. Okay. Yeah. All right, and so the corresponding events that were going on within a matter of just a couple weeks apart from each other, there were all these major terrorist attacks over in Europe.
Yes,
and it coincided with the same thing, but because it was all about Islamic radicalism, the media wasn't really reporting that proportionately compared to how much the media was concerned about Donald Trump's remarks about banning all Muslims.
Yeah,
which,
exactly.
By the way, he never said. Okay, that's the point. The context of his statement was, we need to stop immigration, and he said this in his speech yesterday. We need to stop immigration from, and not even just that part of the world. We need to stop immigration until we can start vetting people and finding out who they are, because they're working their way down through Europe, and they're coming in from other countries.
Yeah, exactly. And in Europe, if you're coming in from Europe, there's not a vetting process because of our lax policies just for travel, just the way they do it in the Eurozone.
Yeah, and so I'm sitting here going, well, if you want to be on message about this, let's point out the fact that Hillary Clinton wants to bring in all these Syrian refugees. I think she wants to increase it. I think, they're giving us numbers. We know the numbers are way beyond what they're giving us, but because they're giving us the comfortable numbers. We want to bring in 10,000 Syrian refugees a year. And she's like, well, I want to make it 50,000, when it's probably 500,000. Okay, that kind of thing. Yeah. But if that's the case, why isn't anybody pointing out? The message would be what? The message would be, we want to bring in refugees that believe in Islam, and we're not even talking about radical Islamic, jihadists or anything else. We want to bring in Muslims, and we want to assimilate them into our society. Those who practice Sharia law, which, by the way, thinks that homosexuals should be killed, and that women should be beaten. And what they call the honor killing. If a woman dishonors her family for some way, it's all right for the family to kill her. Now, Hillary Clinton is what? The greatest woman's rights advocate out there? She is the greatest child advocate out there?
Yes, she wants to be your champion.
Yeah, she's the defender of the homosexuals, and she's the one saying, let's bring in all these people that practice a religion, which, by the way, they think they shouldn't have to adhere to the Constitution. They should have their own law. So how are you going to prosecute somebody if we say, you guys up there in Detroit, which has turned into Little Islam up there.
Dearborn, they have a Sharia court in Tampa.
Yeah, okay, so you try your cases, and and we'll try ours, and we won't interfere. And so people are out there getting murdered and killed for any number of reasons, and we're not going to interfere in that. And why is the reason? What's the reason behind it? Simple. They want the votes. They need the votes. Hillary is doing everything she's doing right now because they don't have the votes.
Pure pandering.
Yeah, pure pandering for the purpose of trying to bring votes and not having the votes. So I want to expound a little bit more on this when we get back. So stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate. We'll be right back.
A healthy attitude toward human politics will be relentlessly cynical. Consider us health food for the heart, mind, and soul. The ConservativeSyndicate.net. Real conservative talk from real conservatives. Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardosa. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardosa Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosalive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosalive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Read something recently worth thinking about. It's the soldier, not the campus organizer, who's given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier who serves under the flag, who defends the protesters' right to burn the flag. Isn't it time now to demonstrate that we support our troops? Were it not for the brave, there'd be no land of the free.
Fred Thompson's message was brought to you by citizensunited.org.
Conservative Syndicate. Hey, we want to encourage you. Take a moment, maybe over the weekend. That's the best time to do it. While you're sitting there and doing your online shopping or paying your bills online or whatever it is you do that gets you out on the internet on the weekend, take a moment to call up our website, theconservativesyndicate.net, and take a listen and visit. Dance around the site. The site's not small. We got a lot of stuff there. We've got resources. We've got archives. We've got all of our Moments of Madness are all there. So you can, if you don't want to listen to a whole show just to catch Moments of Madness, you can just, hey, there's a whole section here. Just click on it, and I've got the actual transcript, so you don't have to even really listen. You can read it if you want to. Whatever blows your skirt up, however it works for you. The ConservativeSyndicate.net. Now, back on this Hillary, I don't know. I guess I'm stuck in a Hillary thought process today, and maybe that's by design, maybe not. But
she's in your brain rent free again. Oh no, she's under where Jebby was.
Yeah, and I guess it's because one of the things that I've really been paying attention to was how quickly the polls began. In fact, I was even noted, like I said, watching Shepard Smith today, that they were talking how instantly the numbers changed right after the DNC convention.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
Okay? And we pointed that out yesterday. Donald Trump, after the RNC convention, which finished up the week before the DNC convention, it got like a 6 to 8 point bounce in the polls, depending on which ones you were looking at. Right after the DNC convention, Hillary Clinton gets an 18-point bump, meaning that she's at 10 points, which means she erased Donald Trump's 8 points and picked up 10 points. That's an 18-point bounce, okay? Overnight, virtually overnight. And you can't tell me there was anything at the DNC convention that would have spawned that kind of reaction. So that's when the polls became suspect for me, and I started thinking, okay, there's something different here. And when we start looking at the events out there, Joe just popped me over an article here earlier. Look at the attendance at rallies that are going on right now. Trump is still packing the places. Hillary, they've got to do the raise the barriers and closing the cameras, put the human shields behind her. Maybe the reason the father of the terrorist was put in the background was because they didn't have anybody else to choose from.
Yeah. I mean, for crying out loud, looking at this, the number of events Trump had was 19. Hillary had 8. Total attendance, estimated attendance at Trump events was 104,940. Total estimated attendance at Hillary's events was 12,250. The average attendance at Trump's was 5,500. The average attendance at Hillary's is 1,500. Yeah. But yet she is beating the pants off of Trump. She is just put her in the White House now.
Yeah, well, I think more comparable numbers would probably be people at Bernie Sanders rallies compared to Donald Trump rallies. That's probably where you get closer estimations, closer turnout, that kind of thing.
And this was just a total from August 1st through the 14th. So Trump's had 19 events in that amount of time, and Clinton's only had 8.
Yeah, and we're also talking about the fact that there's virtually no news conferences. She had one news conference with a minority conglomeration of media people, what she in her own words short-circuited when she was asked again about her claim that the FBI said that she was being truthful, that she didn't lie about anything, that kind of stuff. And this idea here that, she's taking a lot of time off. She's in the heat of a campaign, and she's taking weekends off and stuff like that. Maybe she just thinks because Obama does that it's okay for her to do it, because that's how he's been living. Hey, yeah, we got somebody just got blown up over in Paris, France. 100 people were killed. Time to hey, what's tea time, man?
Yeah. Speaking of that, Obama's out there on his vacation at Martha's Vineyard, and what's he take the time off to do? What gets him away from the golf course? Not the riots in Milwaukee. Not those. No, he can't get away from those. No, he has to go campaign for Hillary Clinton. That's what gets him away from his vacation.
Yeah.
There's your commander-in-chief. There's your guy that cares so much about the people in his nation. He has riots in Milwaukee. That can't tear him away. But Hillary, on the other hand, well, he can go and get off and go talk bad about Republicans and Donald Trump there.
Yeah, and another thing that's going on today, I didn't catch it. I'll check it after I get off the air today. Donald Trump went down to Milwaukee, where right now, once again, the Black Lives Matter, the chief of police down there and the mayor down there in Milwaukee, talking about the fact that These people that are creating all this violence and everything down there they're outsiders. Okay,
yeah, absolutely. It just sounds like Ferguson again, doesn't it?
Yeah. They're busting in Black Lives Matter people and stuff like that.
Or service people.
And in fact, I thought it was really funny today. It was back in the 3,000 character links, but I thought it was worth mentioning here just off the cuff. Jesse Jackson is weighing in down on the Milwaukee thing. This is just so shameful. And I'm thinking, you know what? What's shameful, Jackson, is that people still give you 3,000 character links to say something. Because
absolutely. I mean, come on, Jesse. What's so terrible about it? This happens every damn weekend in Chicago. You don't say a word about it.
Yeah. So it's indicative here of this illusion that the media is trying to put out there that this whole election thing is already over. It's already done.
It's crazy that they think it's already over when we know it's not over. It hasn't been over. It's not going to be over. It's not going to be over. We're really not going to know. It's going to pick up after Labor Day, and when that first debate happens, that's really going to pick up some steam.
Yeah.
And then after, when we get to Halloween, that's when it's really going to come out.
Yeah, and I was kind of
all of Hillary's. That's when all of Hillary's little friends are going to get on their brooms and their flying monkeys, and that's when they're really going to be hard to handle.
I'll tell you what. The way I was thinking about it today. I actually wrote it down because I thought, this is a little catchy line here. Right now, this is where we're at in the elections. Okay, the media tells us, the polls say Trump can't win. Okay, the establishment and their operatives tell us Trump mustn't win. The pundits can't tell us who will win, and the American people say it doesn't matter who wins.
I don't know what American people are talking to, because it certainly does matter who wins.
Oh yeah, well there's that 47% out there.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know who they're asking. Are these Americans that don't know what it is to be Americans?
Yeah, well, they're not. They're now. We're back to my topic here. I'm glad you said that, because this is my point. My point is, when you talk about all these things mashed together, the polls, the operatives, the establishment, the media, the pundits, all the people out there, what it really comes down to is everybody is still measuring this election cycle by all the standards of elections past. And I think there's a very few number, and I think we're amongst that number, that understands nothing in this election cycle should be taken within the context of anything that's happened in the past. Because there is something going on out there. The fact that, how often have we been hearing now about the talk, the question being put out there, is the two-party system dead? Okay, well, we realize now that apparently it's been dead for a while. We just are now catching up with the fact that the idea that we have ideological differences. We don't have ideological differences. We have mythological differences.
Yeah, there you go.
It's not a matter of whether we want to be part of the globalist community. It's how are we going to be part of the globalist community.
No one's asking us. That's correct.
Yeah. So
good one, John.
Yeah. So the decisions are being made, and we're not being included. So whether we have a two-party system or not is irrelevant at this point. We're going to talk more about this coming up next hour here. We have Audrey Russo from Real Talk Radio will be with us next hour. Right now it's time for the Edwards Notebook. We'll pay some bills, and we'll be right back.
The Democrats have themselves made the best case possible against the election of Mrs. Clinton to the presidency of the United States of America. Hello, I'm Ron Edwards on today's page from the Edwards Notebook. During the Democrat Party convention, it was horrendous watching one progressive Democrat after another expressing hatred and spewing lies about Donald Trump. In fact, the Democrats did not utter one single word in regards to defeating the Islamic terrorists or law-breaking illegal immigrants, but were very quick to condemn Donald Trump, who legally worked his way up the ladder of success and has hired tens of thousands of workers from all walks of life.
The Democrats have displayed more loyalty towards illegal immigrants than to the principle of preserving the United States' national sovereignty. Democrats even displayed their disregard for national peace and tranquility by having the nerve to justify and rationalize murdering police officers. There were plenty of verbal salvos launched at Donald Trump, however, but not a syllable was mentioned about the need to defeat Islamic terrorists who are following through on their threat to destroy civilized Western nations, including this one. I'm Ron Edwards.
All our archives at the conservativesyndicate.net. The Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
Prices are for base buildings only. May not be available in some areas. Attention business owners, do you want a stimulus package that really works? Before you spend thousands of dollars more than you should on your next building project, listen to this. General Steel has a stimulus package designed to help you save as much as half the cost of conventional construction on your next building. As much as half. That's right. General Steel can save you thousands of dollars with a pre-engineered steel building designed for your business or church. How about a 50 by 100 foot building for under $30,000? So don't pay thousands more than you should without calling General Steel first and save as much as half the cost and time of conventional construction. With the projected demand for steel in Japan and China, prices may be skyrocketing.
877-927-3360. 877-927-3360. 877-927-3360. Term life insurance. It can be a powerful way to protect your assets and your family. You work hard to earn and save your money to build a nest egg for the future. Don't let it get wiped out because you didn't plan ahead. Take the time now and make a small investment in $500,000 or more in quality term life insurance. Call the Term Lifeline and let us shop the best companies to give you the lowest rates. We specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. Ask about some of our 10 and 20-year fixed rate plans with guaranteed rates. Call the Term Lifeline right now for your free insurance quote. 800-870-3609. 800-870-3609. You owe it to yourself to protect your family and your assets. Make term life insurance part of that plan. Call the Term Lifeline right now. 800-870-3609. 800-870-3609.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Read something recently worth thinking about. It's the soldier, not the campus organizer, who's given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier who serves under the flag, who defends the protesters' right to burn the flag. Isn't it time now to demonstrate that we support our troops? Were it not for the brave, there'd be no land of the free.
Fred Thompson's message was brought to you by citizensunited.org.
All you can do is just tell the truth and trust in the American people that over time they're going to know what the truth is.
Yes, it is time real conservatives. With your host, John Matthews.
The latter-day prophet. Baying against the hypocrisies of our time.
And Joe Hakos.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
The Conservative Syndicate is comprised of some of the most informed pundits and activists available today. Together, we seek to tear down the imaginary wall, a separation between church and state through education, information, and engagement on the religion of politics and the politics of religion. And now, your host on the globally syndicated Conservative Syndicate, John Matthews and Joe Hakos.
All right. We're back. Hour 2 right here at the Conservative Syndicate. We're glad you took the time to listen to us, and we so appreciate your loyalty. We're actually building up quite a loyal following out there, and rightfully so, because we try to do what I think many other shows don't do, and that is go beyond the 5-minute commentaries on 30-second sound bites. And, at times it may sound monotonous or repetitious and that kind of thing. But, we're human beings. And sometimes you have to hear things over and over. And you have to hear it from different perspectives in order to really kind of come to a place where you can really talk sensibly and reasonably and intelligently about what's going on. So we're proud of what we do, and we're glad you took the time to join us today. I am your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos, and getting back, I guess, to this conversation about Clinton, which I hadn't really started out the show thinking that's where we were going to go today, but I'm going to follow the thread because it won't go away.
Okay.
It just won't go away. And I've learned to trust my instincts, or impressions as I call them. I get an impression. When an impression doesn't go away, that usually means that there's some relevance to it, even if it's just in my own mind. Sometimes you guys are just listening to what's going on around in my head. It's just the nature of the beast here. And, I've had people comment to me about that. And I say, well, if you don't like what I say, then get your own show. All right? And you can say whatever you want.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, you know what? Right now, we can still do that. It's still a free enough nation that you can get your own show. All it costs is a little bit of money.
Yeah. It doesn't cost that much. I was down at the bank today, and the lady was asking me questions. I know she was asking me so that he could solicit me, for business loans and stuff like that. And, I knew that, but I just went along with her. She said, oh, what do you do? And I said, well, we do a production company. Oh, what do you do? Well, I do videos, and I do a radio show. What kind of radio show? And we got into all this, I'm explaining to her all this stuff. And I know she, she's clicking at the keyboard, and I know, okay, she's taking all these notes down because now I'm going to start getting junk email about all the loans that I can get and everything else. She said, oh, we can give you a $150,000 signature loan. No, I don't need that. The station that costs me, you'd be surprised what it costs to run this show compared to what it costs to run a terrestrial station. If everybody really knew how minimal the cost was to be able to get on the internet and do what we do every day, be globally syndicated, be nationally acclaimed, have to be reached in 153 countries throughout the world, 2.5, coming up on 2.5 million listeners, and the cost that it runs to do this compared to a terrestrial station out there that only reaches,
the licensing alone is astronomical.
Yeah, and a terrestrial station, so you can cover 50 to 60 radius miles. Radial miles, or whatever the term is, a 50, 60 mile radius, and the cost of doing that. I don't know why people are still doing terrestrial radio, actually.
Well, most of those folks in terrestrial radio are doing exactly what we're doing as well. They are going over the internet as well.
Yeah. And, I guess the advantage to terrestrial radio is you can make a pretty good living off of local advertising.
Oh yeah, I mean it does provide a good service. I mean, let's understand. I mean, if you're doing it right, you can give people a heads up on what's going on. I mean, let's check it out. I mean, did you know, John, that there is a flood in Louisiana going on right now?
Yeah, actually, I caught that. I was watching it. Man, it's some major stuff down there.
Yeah, you would never know that because no one's screaming, hey, Obama, get down here. Quit your vacation and get down here, you heartless SOB, like they did for Bush.
Yeah, well, the other problem is, the other side of the coin is Louisiana isn't liberal friendly for the most part. Okay,
hey, that's a big Democrat stronghold down there, brother. I'll tell you that right now. I know. I got friends down there, and that's some Democratic Party headquarters down there, buddy.
Okay, well then maybe. Well, you would think that Obama would already be talking about sending money down there. Then has he done yet?
Well, I mean, they've declared some of the parishes disaster areas, rightfully so. I mean, when your house can no longer be seen because the water's above it, that's pretty bad.
Well, I'll tell you, that's something that I find kind of a moronic reference down there in that area. When you call cities parishes.
Parishes. It goes back to their French heritage, brother.
Yeah, I get all that. But it seems totally redundant given today's electorate.
I get you. I understand. Well, they could call them colonies, but they're parishes.
Anyway, one of the things we're going to go to our break here real quick here because we have Audrey Russo coming on with us, and it's time for that break. One of the things I do want to talk about, I'm just going to mention it now so I'll remember later.
Okay.
Is an article I found on Fiscal Times today. It's called Planning the Purge. What will the GOP look like after Trump? And it's a great article that explains what the establishment hopes to accomplish after this election cycle is over. But we have some other stuff we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Donald Trump's terrorist plan speech that he gave yesterday with Audrey Russo from Real Talk Radio. We got to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate. Don't go away.
A healthy attitude toward human politics will be relentlessly cynical. Consider us health food for the heart, mind, and soul. TheConservativeSyndicate.net. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now.
Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification require cancellation fee, auto pay, and paperless billing, and other restrictions apply. If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Only Dish brings you the best in entertainment for less than $20 a month. Cut the cable and don't get directed. Switch to Dish because at just $19.99, Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. It's so simple. The same channels cost less with Dish. So since you can't see the difference, don't pay the difference. Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Get premium movie channels free for 3 months, starting at just $19.99. Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. Call now to save with Dish. Dial 1-800-600-1645. That's 1-800-600-1645. The same channels for less than $20 a month. Dish. Call 1-800-600-1645 for details.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Read something recently worth thinking about. It's the soldier, not the campus organizer, who's given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier who serves under the flag, who defends the protesters' right to burn the flag. Isn't it time now to demonstrate that we support our troops? Were it not for the brave, there'd be no land of the free.
Fred Thompson's message was brought to you by citizensunited.org.
Listening to the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hickos, and we have our sweet Belle out there from New York, Audrey Russo from
Northern
Real Talk
Belle,
Radio.
I guess.
And the reason I call her that, I'm going to be honest with you, Audrey. I've never met a woman from New York with Jewish heritage who says, "How y'all doing?"
Well, I'm from the South Bronx.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. I am from the Bronx, but yeah, that's where I was born. That part of New York City. Yeah.
I caught that because both of my son and my daughter both live in Arkansas.
Oh, really?
And I spent a number of years in Tennessee. My dad was from Tennessee, and I developed what I've had people tell me that I have what they call an intercontinental accent. Because I have a little bit of everything, you know. My mom's Irish, so I do sometimes. When I'm around the family, have kind of a tendency to launch into this Irish kind of dialect kind of thing. And when I'm down south, I come back. You know, I go down there for vacation. I come back and I'm using the word "you all." You know, you all, and that kind of stuff, just being around it, you know, that kind of stuff. But I just thought, that's just, you know, but that you know, you epitomize the average and the normal American. Just
that's it. I'm a proud American mutt.
That's right.
I like it. I love all the accents we have in this country. And most of all, I love the fact that we are Americans, because I don't like this. The whole hyphenated thing is a disrespect of America. It really is.
Yeah, you know, and I'm seeing it. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time talking about this, but I don't know if you've noticed it. I quit watching the Olympics. Probably I haven't watched the Olympics in probably 20 years, just because of the fact that it is becoming so politicized. Everything that's being politicized one way or the other, and we know really the Olympics probably in the beginning was for that purpose. It was kind of like, let's take the athletes from all the countries. I often thought maybe that's how we should fight wars. You know, let's take the best of what we got, put them in an arena, and winner takes all kind of stuff.
And we'll get the gold. So
yeah.
Just ask Phelps.
Yeah, or in this case, I think the most valuable medal should be the uranium medal. That maybe that's.
Well, you have to ask Hillary about that.
That's just a personal attack again. You're personally attacking her.
No, that's evidence. I'm personally attacking her evidence. It's not what is it? The politics of personal destruction. They were the ones that made that an art.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it's time to move on. It's time to move on, people.
Well, I was noticing the other day, there was an article, Gabby, I think she's one of the gymnasts. I don't remember her last name, but her first name is Gabby. They call her Gabby. I think it's Gabby Reynolds or something like that. And she was supposed to be the American darling. You know, they always have an American darling. Ice skating and gymnastics. They got, the darlings out there. And I guess she has just really got her butt whomped while she's been back there in Rio. and by some other Americans. I guess the Americans have just been, dominating the gymnastics field, and so they're interviewing her about this. Well, what happened? And she starts claiming this idea that maybe it's about her race. And I'm thinking, well, that's kind of hard considering the other people on your team that are dominating are the same color you are. Okay, so I think that kind of kills the race card thing. Or one of them, I forget what event she was in, talking about how her win will help Black Lives Matter. And I'm like, okay, she was a swimmer. I guess she was on a swim team or something like that. And because it had to be a water sport, because I remember thinking in my mind, somebody needs to hold this girl's head underwater.
That's an incredibly ignorant statement for her to make.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
It's just beyond ignorant statement. Just absolutely beyond ignorance. It's just really, what's that got to do with a sporting competition?
Yeah, and she was. It had to do with Black Lives Matter and the issue of police brutality, and her color comes with the territory, and all of a sudden I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, or like my big pet peeve. My pet peeve is that Michael Phelps was allowed to compete. This guy was popped for possession of marijuana a few years ago.
Be a little forgiving of him. He was young.
And he was...
Even though I never did this stuff, but go ahead.
Well...
I was one of those little goody two-shoes.
I'm not really bashing him for being a pothead. I mean, I've done more than my fair share over before I grew up. But the point being is that at the same time they're talking about this guy, they're making a big deal about the fact that he was the flag bearer. And rather than having him carry the flag, there should have been this one Muslim girl who was on the team and has won no medals, done absolutely nothing but wears a hijab or whatever it is they wear.
Yeah, the hijab,
Yeah, and she was supposed to, they were saying she should have been made the flag bearer because she was Muslim. And so I got...
What the freak does that have to do?
I tell you, this is why I don't watch it anymore.
So she could display how she's wearing wearing a symbol of female oppression.
Yeah, and that feeds into my point here, is that weighing all the
oppression of females. Go ahead.
Well, Michael Phelps, he's out there. He's won, I guess, a few more medals, and he's become the icon and everything else. And at the same time, the Dutch team sent home their major weightlifter guy. Okay, he was made it to the finals, and they sent him home because he went out and drank. Okay, and they found out about it. He won his event. He was going into the finals. I guess he decided to go out and celebrate. Went out and had a few drinks, and they found out about it, and they disqualified him and sent him home. Yeah. And I'm thinking, you would think 60 years ago in the Olympics, that's exactly how the Americans would have acted. You're not representing the country the right way.
Did Phelps do it while he was at the Olympics?
Yeah. So now it's like, okay.
No. I thought the point you were making was the fact that why was Phelps there? Because he did pot, but he didn't do it. Did he do it at the Olympics?
No. No, that's not the point. It's that in days past, anybody in the Olympics that did something that was detrimental to the image of the Olympics would have had their stuff yanked. For instance, I just told you about these two black young girls out there who are claiming that racism has something to do with their one winning, two losing. But what happened when Jesse Owens and those guys held the black power fists up there? There was some serious repercussions for that.
Yeah.
And so we no longer put any honor into that kind of thing when we say, okay, the idea of going to the Olympics and competing, and let's leave the politics out of it, although it's always been about politics, but it's a different brand of politics. Well, let's use it to advance the liberal agenda.
Well, that's it. Yeah. You had to know that with the Olympic Committee.
Yeah.
It's all, and if they could, they'd try to cheat us out of our medals. Believe you me, they would.
Yeah. but like I said, maybe they could get Hillary to trade it for some uranium. I don't know.
Well, you have to talk to Putin about that. I don't.
Okay. All right, let's move on.
Money. Yeah.
Let's move on. I spent about 5 minutes more on that than I probably should have. But talking about Donald Trump's speech yesterday, and Joe and I are in agreement. If Trump, and I think he's doing this, I think he's really getting on message, and he's out there now every day. Almost every day out there giving
He's about to make another speech, as a matter of fact. Yeah,
exactly. He's going to do another speech tonight, and he's going to have a basic town hall meeting while Hillary Clinton is off in her bubble being protected, probably getting some blood transfusions.
Like that, or I swear it is really, I put up an image, a Getty image. It's really looking like a weekend at Bernie's, because I don't know if you saw that, but check it out on Twitter, the image that I found, a Getty image of her. She's standing it looked like on a soapbox, but one of the Secret Service one of the Secret Service agents is holding her hand, her elbow, and propping her up. And I'm like, what is that? Yeah. And it's incredible. It does look like Weekend at Bernie's, and I wouldn't be surprised, because she's it for them right now.
Well, we talked about this in the first hour briefly about somebody put a video out there on social media, and I just happened to run across it today, which I had never really given put a whole lot of stock into it. But pictures of her being helped up the stairs. Joe Biden at the rally yesterday had to help her out of her chair. The Secret Service agent that you're talking about is not a Secret Service agent. He's her doctor.
Oh, yeah. No, this was a Secret Service.
Okay.
Yeah, but that one is a doctor. And since when does a doctor start telling the Secret Service what to do?
Yeah, and there's supposed to be some photograph of him carrying some kind of injector.
I can answer that one, Audrey. When they get put on the Hillary Clinton detail, that's when that happens.
And you know how it is when you're a secret agent on the Hillary Clinton detail, is if you don't follow orders, you end up dead.
Yeah, well...
You get screamed at, you get told to go F off, and then and that's just in the, hey, how you doing this morning routine.
Yeah.
That's her. Yeah, from what I understand. But, well, just a aside here, what do you think about the DNC staffers that, kind of bought the farm?
The list is long, and on that list,
look like what the Clintons' past has looked like.
Yeah, well, I think on that list there's like 17 Secret Service agents that have been involved with the Clintons over the years are gone. 17 of them.
You mean gone as in
dead?
Dead? Really?
Yeah.
Not.
Were they writing a memoir at that time? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I years ago when I first started out on radio, and I was really into the conspiracy stuff, and somebody sent me a list of all the people that have died associated with the Clintons, and I don't float it out here very much because just because of the conspiracy thing, I don't really like to get tagged into that category. But there's 17 Secret Service agents over the years, and many of them, some of them, more than a few of them, were tied in with Bill Clinton during some of his sexual encounters, and they were witness to it, and all of a sudden they're gone, that kind of stuff.
It just makes you think. It just makes you, I'm the same way. I don't want to get involved. I don't want to be tagged as a conspiratorialist. But you have to, when you have all this evidence that keeps mounting up, it makes you wonder.
Well, that is funny. It's like what Limbaugh said the other day. How many people do you know have died a violent death? In your life, how many people do you know have that? And it happens all the time in Bill and Hillary's circles.
Yeah.
And I think the most current list, if we leave off the Benghazi folks, if we leave off the Ambassador Stevens and the 3 SEALs that died over there, if we leave those off, I think the list is somewhere around 37 total. The list the last list that I got, wow. And these are lawyers, associates. Women that were involved with Clinton, supposedly alleged involved with him in sexual encounters and stuff like that. My favorite one is the one of the women that apparently were in the process, was going to be one of the, it was around the Paula Jones era, was going to come out and talk about being molested or being attacked by Bill Clinton, and ended up with they ruled it a suicide with a gunshot wound to the back of her head.
Oh my God! What? I just caught that.
Nobody questioned it. You know, it's like how do you self-inflict to the back of your head? You know, that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff. Anyway, it's out there, but I don't know. I've been telling Joe, I don't know why I've got Clinton on my mind today. I just can't get it. I can't shake her out of my head.
She's in your brain rent-free today.
Yeah, she's there, and that scares the hell out of me.
It should scare you because Jeb Bush left it.
Yeah, that could be. Jeb is just too boring now. I don't even want to talk about him anymore. Anyway, what stood out to you,
well,
Audrey?
you're going to have to go to a break, John.
Yeah, I know. We got to go to break here, but I'll throw the question at you now. I'll give you a few moments to think about it. Okay. What stood out to you the most out of Trump's speech yesterday? And we'll talk about that when we get back here. We've got Audrey Russo tolerating us today as we talk about Hillary Clinton way too much. And stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'll make you a deal. Give me 60 seconds, and I'll give you directions to the Fountain of Youth. Okay, I'm joking. Well, kind of joking. No fountains, but youth, I got Nature's Youth and their premier anti-aging product, Nature's Youth RSF. With your sensible diet and exercise plan, Nature's Youth RSF can help you look and feel better. RSF is an all-natural amino acid supplement that supports your body to naturally increase HGH levels without any synthetic hormones. And elevated HGH levels can contribute to increased energy, improved libido, reduced body fat, and improved exercise capacity. Let's be honest, who doesn't want to look and feel younger? Visit the newly designed website at naturesyouth.com or call 800-333-6923. That's 800-333-6923, and like them on Facebook, and you'll be included in contests and exclusive offers. What a deal. Oh, speaking of deals, my time's about up. 800-333-6923 or naturesyouth.com. Who needs a fountain anyway? Call today.
When I had a heart attack at 42, I was not sure what the future held. But a year later, the doctors could find nothing wrong with me and took me off all my medication. What did I do? I took a herbal mixture of garlic, cayenne, and a few other herbs mixed in liquid form. I now call this Extendovite. I would have never believed that a few simple herbs could actually change my life like they did. Now it's your turn to see what the powers of garlic and cayenne can do for you. For only $69.95 plus shipping and handling for a 2-month supply of either capsules or liquid, you too can begin on your path to better health. For more information, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
I've owned my company for 14 years now, and I can tell you that payroll is a 4-letter word. I hate doing it. It eats up hours I don't have, and it costs me money I could be saving. But my accountant's too expensive, and I'm not sure who to call, but I know I need help.
We're Paychex, and we take all the hassles out of small business payroll. We save you time and money. It's easy. Call, fax, or give us your payroll information securely online, and we take care of the rest. We calculate the correct taxes, manage payments and direct deposits. We even send out your checks. Payroll doesn't need to be a 4-letter word anymore. We're so sure that we can save you time and money that we'll give you a month's payroll free. Just for calling 877-663-3830. Get 1 month's payroll for free. Call Paychex right now. 877-663-3830. That's 877-663-3830.
Hey, I don't back anybody unless I believe in them. And I do believe in the value of investing in gold and silver. And the company I trust to buy my gold and silver from is Swiss America. I've been working with them for nearly a decade. I trust them, and you can too. Swiss America will help you sort through and find the best options available when you're considering investing in gold and silver coins. Listen, for over 30 years, Swiss America has been offering Americans what they want in their investments: safety, liquidity, quality, reliability, and a potential profit. Gold and silver have a place in every investor's portfolio. So why not let Swiss America help you diversify your investment portfolio now? Call now for free information. 800-978-3907. 800-978-3907. 800-978-3907. 800-978-3907.
Hey, Bugsy, you hear the news about Vinny?
Yeah, it's a real shame. He owed money to the IRS and they finally cut up with him.
Just like Al Capone.
If the IRS can get the Capone, imagine what they can do to little old Vinny, huh?
Poor cat, he was on top of the world. Then bada boom, bada bing.
What Vinny needs now is an offer he can't refuse.
Hey, you got a tax problem? Does the IRS claim you owe them a bunch of dough? They can get you too. So call the tax relief line now and learn if you qualify to negotiate your $10,000 plus IRS tax debt for up to a 75% savings. Don't be like Al or Vinny and get busted. Make this free call now. Learn how you may be able to pay the IRS less.
Call now. 866-657-8474. 866-657-8474. 866-657-8474. 866-657-8474.
And we are back. The Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos. Just a quick reminder here, we want to encourage you, visit our website, theconservativesyndicate.net. You can pick up this show, any of our shows, find out anything you want to know about our show, the people that appear on our panel, what we do, why we do it. Theconservativesyndicate.net. We've got Audrey Russo from Real Talk Radio doing her weekly contribution with us. And the question I had posed to you, Audrey, just before the break is, what stood out to you the most with Trump's speech on terrorism yesterday?
Well, I'd say first it would be he stated the empirical evidence, especially concerning Obama and Hillary Clinton. He's correct. The rise of ISIS is the direct result of policy decisions by both of them, because it's not just Obama, it's Hillary as well. And then he laid things out brilliantly. I feel it was the evidence is overwhelming, and he pointed out. But another thing that he said that I have not heard any presidential candidate ever say is, he said, if I become president, the era of nation building will be ended. And I say amen. And I'll say why I say that. Bush changed the mission when it came to Iraq. He said, and it was disastrous. He said, you cannot nation build. And we're talking about a democracy. You want it to become a democracy. You can't have that with Islam. Muslim countries are ruled by Sharia law. This is not Japan, okay? That became a democracy. But these countries are ruled by Islamic law, and they're incompatible with democracy. So you cannot nation build there. I mean, the guys are on the ground there that were trying to help build that saw those. One is a regular on my show, Carl Higbee. He knows you cannot nation build in Islamic countries. He understands that, and that has to end, because we have to. What happened? How many more? I don't want to think how many more died. How many more troops died because the mission changed? I don't know. Only God knows.
Yeah. Well, that's an interesting point, because one of the things I have believed, that I believe now, I didn't believe this before, but we all eventually grow up if we go out and seek and search for the truth out there. The Bush family has been in the nation building business for decades. I mean, it started back with Prescott Bush and Woodrow Wilson with the League of Nations. George Bush Sr., as the CIA, basically made his millions as in fronts in third world banana republics, setting up as an oil company so that they could go in and do covert regime changes and stuff like that. People don't know this about them. And then, of course, George W. Bush, actually, I think at one time I remember him mentioning something along the lines of New World Order, that we were going to do this. But here, in line with what you just said here, the question here, you can expound on this a little bit. I find it interesting that the word that I keep hearing from people on the left and the right is the word democracy. We're out there trying to establish democracies. When did it become the objective of a republic to go out and create democracies?
Well, a republic is a form of democracy. It's not a democracy like you have, of course, in Europe. Well, definitely not that. But and so we're run differently. But we are pro-democratic, and we not Democrat. Democrat.
Right. I get you.
I hate when people. I have to say this. I hate when people say the Democratic Party. It's the Democrat Party, not Democratic. My gosh.
Yeah. I just think it's kind of almost condescending to project this idea that what we're going to do is we're going to take something that maybe right now exists as a dictatorship, some type of tyrannical dictatorship, and we'll just take it up a notch and we'll just make it a democracy. Whereas, because in most of these countries where we've tried to do this, it has been very little, even when we've accomplished it, has been very little in terms of the population determining what the government does.
Right. When you say that, are you talking about places like Russia?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we didn't really do a lot as far as investment, and I don't mean financial. I mean investment as far as democracy goes, with democratic principles into Russia, and we allowed the stragglers from the KGB to hang around, like, let me see, Putin. And so, of course, when you're taking generations that have lived off the state and you're not helping them become a democracy, now they have to become independent. And you got to get them off, as my producer always says, the government teat. That's a job, and we failed there.
Yeah, people just don't know how to live free if they haven't been free before.
Right.
They just don't understand how to do that.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of personal responsibility in that.
Yeah.
Well, listen. I mean, let me dance back in time here. I might be wrong here. I'm just throwing it out. You guys correct me if I'm wrong. When's the last time we heard about elections in Japan?
Well, Japan is a democracy. I mean, they economically they're become more like Europe, which is more
okay. Now, how about Vietnam? When's the last time we heard about elections in Vietnam?
Well,
I don't know. That one guy that shot the guy in the middle of the street there.
Okay. All right.
I freaked out about. Yeah, I don't know.
How about Korea?
It's been a long time. Yes.
How about Korea?
Philippines, I know when the last election was in the Philippines.
Yeah, but the Philippines kicked the United States out. Okay, really?
Get that? Yes.
Okay, so and I can tell you, because I follow Philippines as much as I follow the U.S. What they have right now, they are Bernie Sanders' Democratic Socialist Republic. They're not a democracy.
Yeah.
And not in the sense of word that we're talking about here in terms of being they call themselves the Republic of the Philippines, but it's not a republic. And the Korea, when's the last time we heard of elections in Korea? So I'm saying, even if this has been our objective, to put some kind of democracy out there and put the control of the government in the hands of the people, and you made a good point, Audrey, that when people are under tyrannical rule for decades and centuries, they don't even know what to do with freedom. They don't even know what it means.
Exactly. They don't. And so that would be quite an investment, in manpower. And I don't mean the military. I mean people going there and training people and teaching them. So it's, I agree. I understand what you're saying. But what the nation building that was going on under Bush and others like him were, this is an incredible naivete when it comes to what Islam is.
Right.
And what an Islamic country is and what it's ruled by and what Islam is at all. To know that there's Islamic supremacy and there could be nothing above that. So you can't have democracy because freedom and democracy smash heads, with Islam.
Well, I see our nation building, particularly under the Bush administration, as being nothing more than corporate expansion. And we call it something else. It's globalism disguised as democracy. That's how I see it. How do you see it?
No, it's a very good point. I don't know enough about that, but I tell you, if I step back and look at it, what you're saying is pretty spot on.
Yeah, I know that the objective is that, okay, we're going to go in and free these people, but this whole idea that we just do it because we're some kind of a savior of the world kind of thing, I think if nothing else, this election process has exposed the fact that we ourselves are right now under the thumb of globalists. And we're just now coming to that realization that we've been lied to for decades here about how much say we actually have that goes on in our government.
Yeah.
And so when we talk about the Trump revolution, that's what we're talking about. People waking up and going, wait a minute, this isn't what I saw. This isn't what I signed up for.
Exactly. Exactly. It's all being exposed. I'm sorry. Are you trying to say something, Joe? I can hear you kind of.
No.
What'd you say, Joe? What were you saying?
I did not say a thing.
Oh, okay. I saw your.
If you heard something, it was in my brain. Right, I was in agreement.
No, I was just. I saw your little window light up there, so I thought, okay, you were trying to say something. So that I don't mean to demean anything, but I think I'm saying it to kind of just reinforce what you were just saying. Trump has hit the nail on the head here. Is that we've become not liberators, but builders. And that, to me, is the general perception of what globalism is about. It's about building a world economy and people making millions and billions off of a world economy rather than a specific economy within a specific nation or continent. And so I think, he was spot on when he said that. And nobody seems to be. I'm happy you picked up on that, because I heard it. And I thought, but I immediately thought of the Bushes. I didn't think of Obama, because I don't think Obama's a globalist in terms of economy. I think he's a globalist in terms of a tyrant.
Yeah, exactly. He's not a nation builder, because in our understanding of that is helping build a democracy. He's into tearing them down, so...
Yeah. His idea is to make everything one large collective, and when he takes over the UN, he can run the whole show.
you know that too, right?
Okay, we got to go to a quick break here. We've got Audrey Russo with us from Real Talk Radio, and we'll be right back. Stay with us.
A healthy attitude toward human politics will be relentlessly cynical. Consider us health food for the heart, mind, and soul. The ConservativeSyndicate.net. Real conservative talk from real conservatives. Folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardosa. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardosa Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosalive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosalive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Read something recently worth thinking about. It's the soldier, not the campus organizer, who's given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier who serves under the flag, who defends the protesters' right to burn the flag. Isn't it time now to demonstrate that we support our troops? Were it not for the brave, there'd be no land of the free.
Fred Thompson's message was brought to you by citizensunited.org.
And we're back, and you're listening to the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos. We've got Audrey Russo from Real Talk Radio. You can catch her show every Thursday at audreyrusso.com. And I believe we have a link up on our website, the Conservative Syndicate now. If you go down there and check the bio, the panel members, I think I've got a link there. Yeah, I do. Got a link there, and that will take you to Audrey's site. And she streams every Thursday because she does things a little bit different than we do. She goes out and hunts down her interviews. We let them come to us. She goes out and finds them. We let people come to us. We're different way of doing things.
Like pioneers, okay?
Yeah.
It's your spirit.
Yeah, she's out there in the trenches actually doing things like that.
That was a lie, by the way, because I'm a real city girl, so...
Well, I'm trying, my big thing here, I'm trying to score an interview with Carol Swain out of Vanderbilt University. When I saw her in Dinesh D'Souza's film, Hillary's America, this woman just fascinated me. And I'm trying, so I've not been able to get somebody to respond, but I'm just going to keep hammering it. Maybe that's why I don't do it more. It's because you don't always get responses right away.
No,
and I just get pissed off about it. So I just I was like,
well, you know what?
Yeah, don't you know who I am? Damn it,
Oh, they never know who we are.
Yeah, between me and Rush Limbaugh, we make $30 million a year, for crying out loud.
You mean he makes what, 30? You said 31.
I said between me and Rush Limbaugh, we make $30 million a year.
Yeah,
that's a joke. Okay,
I know that is. And not because you don't deserve it. It's just because I'm pretty sure he makes the $30 million.
Yeah, he makes the $30 million. I just
yes, I know.
I just dream about it. So anyway, back to this thing with Trump. I thought my big thing with Trump was when he got into talking about the vetting. The two things: the idea that we have to approach this from an ideological standpoint. We've got to get back into talking about American exceptionalism and republicanism and the things that make the country great. And the other issue was explaining how he would deal with immigration. I thought those two things stood out to me. And I just thought, this is a very articulate argument. I'm wondering how this is going to sound on the debate stage with Hillary Clinton. What do you think?
It's going to sound good. He's going to be ready. Believe you me, he's going to be ready. And he's ready with the evidence when it comes to her, because she's got, remember something, he is not a politician. So she's got nothing on him, nothing. See how they're jumping on his statements like white on rice, and it's absurd and it's ridiculous. Well, he's got all the evidence.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I mean, years worth of evidence against her. So I think it's going to be great. I can't wait for the debates. I really can't.
Yeah, it's not going to work for him to say, you did this and you did this and this is what's going on, and she's going to come back and say, yeah, but you think we should ban all Muslims.
Yeah, well, he's going to be ready for those kinds of statements. Yeah. Well, and that's not what he's saying, of course. He says, see, of course we say temporary, but temporary is kind of vague, right? Temporary moratorium on them, because remember something, we don't know when they're going to become radical.
I think that his mention of, I hope he just drills her on this in the debate somehow, that he mentions about the fact that she is actually supporting proponents of Sharia law, and at the same time trying to be an advocate and a champion for women's rights and children and everything else.
Yeah, I hope he does that. Yeah, I hope he goes. Because of course I don't know who's going to be. Do you know anything about the debates yet? Who is handling them?
I know
moderators are no.
What we do know is that he's put out a short list of who he does not want. Okay, he's made a mention of, I think
all of the mainstream media.
Yeah, well, he talked about somebody from NBC, Brian. I can't remember his name because I don't watch those channels. Yeah. I'd have to find the article here, but he mentioned a couple of people from the leftist media. He said I'd be okay with these people, but this is who the name that he mentioned. I don't know their names because I don't listen to them, but I guess they're mainstream types. And he mentioned one woman. I can't remember her name now. He said definitely not her, and she's actually a Republican operative, I believe. And he said, "Wait, no, there's no way." So I don't know how it's going to work out. I'm sure the left is going to try to put out, maybe Chris Matthews. Hey, maybe Debbie Wasserman Schultz could be a moderator. She's got nothing to do now. I don't know.
Oh, God forbid. Please. I really trying to melt the TV screen.
I mean, if you're trying to reduce ratings, that's one way to do it.
Well, she could always, since they support Muslims, this be the time for a full burqa. Right?
Yeah. I don't know what's going on here.
Some garbage bags and let everybody
Same
wear.
Difference, yeah. There are people that call them bagheads. You have to understand that has nothing to do with even the religious part. If you can't really dissect it, but if you do and look at it, has nothing to do with that. It has to do it's Muslim male oppression on women.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, very simple, and I'm seeing more and more of it. It's incredible. I mean, I was in a mall just outside of the city, and there was I was with my producer, and I said, who's this? Those little areas where you sit, when where at least the men sit while the women are shopping. Well, this I'm sorry, I'm going to say Muzzy sat there, would not look, especially when I sat down, would not look at me, turned away, and he had 3 or 4 women burqa'd, and they were going into stores.
Yeah.
This is what they do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't believe you, being from the Bronx, you didn't press that. It's to say, hey, how you doing? How's everything going with you today? And try to make.
I actually stare them down. They won't look. No, especially the men. They won't, because remember, you have to understand that we're filth. The women are more filth than just.
Oh yeah, I get that.
So we're just disgusting and filthy, and we can't even look at you. And they're not either not picking up on it, or money means too much to them. Because remember, it's not money that's the root of all evil. It's the love of money. Ask Hillary.
Yeah.
She knows.
Yeah. Well, I just remember from being in my time over in that part of the world and just watching the goat ride up in the front where the air conditioner was. You laugh, but it's the absolute truth.
Yeah. I know. When I used to do, when I was detached over into Guam every year during my time in the Navy, we always took with us about 90 cases of Coors beer. And because that was money over there. And the first thing you do is you walk into the barracks and you find the sergeant of arms. 2 cases of beer gets you a room with an air conditioner. And that was like the most important thing. The air conditioner was everything. It's like, otherwise, miserable. Anyways, just to answer your question here, Audrey, he said Trump said Lester Holt was somebody he would accept as a moderator from NBC.
Love him. Yeah.
Okay. He said 2 people he would not.
I'm thinking of somebody else. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Two people.
Consolving. I was just thinking of Lester Consolving.
Oh, yeah. But 2 people he would not want is Candy Crowley and what's the other one? Mary Catherine Ham.
Yeah, she's an operative. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
She's part of the establishment.
Yeah. So anyway, Audrey, we're out of time here. I want to give you a moment to plug who's on your show tomorrow. Or on Thursday. You're on Thursday.
Yeah, sure. Jed Babin, because he's voting for Trump. Yes, he is, because the Supreme Court means too much. And Kathleen Willey. We're going to be talking about, who do you think we're going to be talking about? Hillary. And Dr. Peter Hammond from South Africa is going to be back with us. And he's got some really good stuff to say about what's going on in Europe here. And we already have planned his next visit, and it's going to be about foreign policy in America. This is going to be good. So you got to check it out.
I tell you, I look at your list of people every week, and I'm like, yeah, these are some really top-notch people.
They got the stuff, and we want it. You got to get our fix of info.
And if I ever developed the patience to actually go out and search people like this down, I'll probably, be able to do that. I've got to develop that. My dream.
I used to have them on live.
Yeah,
I used to have them on live, but I think it works out better this way.
Yeah. My dream interview is Dinesh D'Souza. If I could land an interview with him, God could take me. I'm ready to go. Okay. All right, my dear. Well, I appreciate you coming on, and good luck with the show this week. And we'll be listening. And you can visit Audrey's site at audreyrusso.com. Thanks so much, dear.
Thanks so much. God bless you guys.
All right, we'll talk to you later. Okay, guys, we're at the end of the show here. I was actually thinking we usually have her on the first hour, and I'm thinking, we got another hour to go here, but we're done. We're done. We'll be back tomorrow. Same time, 3 o'clock out in the West Coast, 6 o'clock on the East Coast. Again, thanks for your loyalty, listening to us, supporting us. Visit our website, theconservativesyndicate.net. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in to this edition of the Conservative Syndicate, the nationally acclaimed, globally syndicated, politically incorrect talk show that seeks to tear down the imaginary wall of separation between church and state. We want to make you aware you can find and access all our show archives at our website, theconservativesyndicate.net, as well as our broadcast stations and times. That's theconservativesyndicate.net. We so appreciate you taking the time to tune in, and we so look forward to continuing to bring you the best in uncompromised talk radio available on the net today. And remember, folks, it doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down in life. It only matters how many times you get up. I'm John Matthews, along with Joe Hago, signing off until next time right here at the Conservative Syndicate. God bless you, and may God continue to bless America.